Well, hello, guys and gals. The DIY / CNC woodworker here with you. I was going to start doing some layout on my next project, which is going to be a bookcase that I'm building for my room for all my books, because the existing bookcase is overflowing. Books about to fall off on the floor everywhere. I've got them stacked up 3 and 4 high. I bought my plywood yesterday and was going to start marking it out today and cutting it out, and was doing a carving last night, and I noticed my router was growling at me, making a lot of noise, telling me that my brushes are probably shot in it. This router here has been sitting out in the garage for months and months and months and months because the brushings on it are wore out, and I just never got around to replacing them yet. Otherwise known as a procrastinator in chief here. So what I'm going to do is take this router apart, and I've got 2 sets of brushes here. I'm going to replace those brushes. It's not that it's that hard. It's quite simple actually, but it's just sitting down and doing it. Like I said, just procrastinated, didn't do it. It's I think 4 screws that holds this cap on, and you take these out and pull the cap off, and that exposes the brushes, and you replace the brushes, put the cap back on, and you're done. So bear with me if this is probably get a little boring. All I'm doing is unscrewing these screws, and I think I've recorded me doing this once before, but it's been a while back. Is when I replaced the brushes in this router, and that was the first time I had done the brushes, had replaced the brushes. And I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be getting into in the process. Turned out to be a no-brainer, basically. Just, like I said, pull this cap off and pull the brushes out and put the new brushes in and put the cap back on, and you're done. So it's nothing to be worried about if you have the same problem. Don't be afraid to go ahead and jump in there and take care of it. Okay, that screw over there is longer for some reason. Let's keep it aside. That screw over here on the switch side. Alright, come on out of there. Thought I had this one all the way out, but I guess not. There it is. Okay, those 2 are different lengths, so cap just pulls off, and the brushes are down in here. Let's see now, there was something I had to spring I had to move or something. Yeah, let me find a tool here. I'll be right back. This little skinny screwdriver. Oh, this thing's dirty. James, what's the deal here? There we go. There's one. Let me go ahead and replace the other one, put it back in there while it's here. It's got a little retaining spring that you have to pop off. That's what I was having trouble pulling off. There you go. That one's in. Now for this one. Boy, these brushes are down to these brushes are down to nothing, man. Let me get that retaining spring out. Come on, buddy. Work with me here. Ah, I just about had you. There you go. There's the other. Show you a comparison in size there. Less than half. Alright. Let's put you in this way. Okay, there you are, replaced. Now, put this back on. These longer screws were in this side. I don't know why there's two different lengths of screws, but they are. And the shorter screws go here. And that, folks, is all there is to it. Exciting, isn't it? Now, while I've got this router in my hand out, this is one that was on the machine. I'll probably give it a rest, I think. I'll replace the brushes in that one and put that one back in my router, in the CNC router part. And I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole in my X carriage so that the cable that I just attached for the probe, zero probe, can go ahead and be permanently mounted like it should be. Like I said, it's what I gather from reading the instructions and online. The later model X cars were designed for this zero probe, and it has a mounting hole already in it and mine's one of the older models. I've had it a couple of years now. It wasn't, the Z Probe wasn't out at that time, so they didn't make the facilities for the probe. So that means I've got to get my drills and go in there and do a little drilling, which is always fun. Cutting into your equipment, but it's for the better cause. Instead of having that cable just dangling there like it is now, I can get it permanently mounted, which we will move the camera inside when I get to that point. All right, let's get a little power here. Whoa, I guess it was on. And it's running again. Okay. All right, folks, I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera off because I'm going to do the other one, and it's an exact repeat of what I've just done, so as to not bore you totally to death. I'm going to do that off camera. But that one's done. Set it back in the box I got inside and keep it for when the next set of brushes wear out. All right, be back with you shortly. Okay, guys, here I am in the CNC room. What I'm going to attempt to do, if I can do this without removing, boy, that's going to be tight, but maybe I can get it. I'm going to drill. See this wire here? I don't know if you can see that in my hand. I've got to drill a hole here where it'll mount to this faceplate like this. And what I did was take my calipers and measure the size of that, then find a bit that fits in there just smoothly. And that's the size bit or hole I need to drill. I'm going to, of course, start out with a smaller bit, put the initial hole in. Let's see how this goes. I hope it doesn't mess up too much. My battery not run down. It sounds like it is. All right, what I'm going to do, seeing how that's a failure, I'm going to go out and get my corded drill out of the garage and bring it in, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, back with my corded drill. Those cordless drills are wonderful. I really like them. I got 2 or 3 of them, but they ain't worth a darn when the battery runs down on you and you're in the middle of a project. Alright, let's change this out to the bigger bit. Okay, let's see if that's a big enough hole for what I need. Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, so take this nut and washer off here. Stick that through there. See if I can do this all upside down and backwards. Oh, it don't look like that. In the world. Well, that was cute. Where did that go? Alright, let me stop the film for a minute and I'll be back with you in a second. Whew, excuse me guys, sweat's just rolling off of me. Oh boy. Alright, well, I went ahead and got that mounted. I did it off camera. It had a lock washer that went on it, but that didn't stick through enough for the lock washer to go on there. It just I barely could get the nut on there. But it's there. Let's move all these tools out of the way. Get these over here temporarily. Alright. Geez, you wouldn't know I had so darn many tools in here. But I do. Alright, where are we at? Here we are. So here's the deal. This now plugs in there. This, of course, clamps onto the bottom of the router. And this is the touchpad. It comes down and makes an electrical contact and sets up your Z0. So there we are. We're all set. That project is done. Now to just putting my routers back in. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and get the one that was already in there because I've got a bit in it. That's this one. So I'll go ahead and put it back in there. They both got new sets of brushes in them, so it doesn't matter which is which. There we go. Spread that apart and it drops down, and that's able to get to it. Now just tighten these back up. Knot that up. Alright. I believe that's ready to go. Put my dust shield mount back on. If any of you are wondering, this is my own designed dust shield mount that I made. Got 4 magnets, well 8 magnets, 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom, holds that in, and away she goes. Alright, all that's now left for me to do is to run the power cord. I'll go ahead and do that off camera and plug that in and hook her up, and she's ready to go again. So we'll be back with you again shortly. Okay guys, I'm back. I've got the router remounted, all ready to go. I changed out the broken bit I wanted to show you. I was carving last night and I left the room and I come back in to check on my carving, and I noticed it was carving air, and I don't know if that'll come out or not, but that little point is gone. It's not there anymore. It just broke off. That was the first. These are probably the strongest bits I got. Now why that broke, I'm going to assume it was just a metal fatigue on that particular bit. But I've got that bit done. Now what I'm going to do, swing this around here. I'm going to hook up my zero thingy bobber. Jeez. Okay, confirm material thickness. I've done that. Material is secure. I've got the bit set up. I'm going to use the probe, confirm the position. It's plugged in. It says to attach the clip. This is the steps it has you go through. That's attached. Make contact with the bit with the plate. I have contact. Touch plate is in place. It is. Start probing. And it goes down and it'll hit the touch plate and it'll come back up. There it is. All right. That has I can't even talk, guys. That has established my zero point for my bit. Now, I was carving, like I said last night. Let me turn this back around here a little bit. I was carving, and I noticed I was carving air. That's where I noticed the bit was broken, and it was carving. Well, zero probe is put away. I've set the XY. The spindle is on. Carve. So I've come back to tell it just to go ahead and finish carving the text, the Houston, Texas, and see how that goes after I turn my vacuum on. Didn't realize how much that vacuum was sucking up till I didn't have it hooked and it was blowing dust everywhere. Gee. But anyhow, that's what we're carving. I'm going to try and carve just the text. And, okay. All right. That's a... Alright, that's a total foul up. I obviously didn't get the zero in the same place and the text is way off, so we'll just start this one over from scratch. And I thought I had put that in the same place, but I had not. So much for that. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, flip my board over, and start carving on the other side. I'll be back shortly. Okay, guys, I don't know how much of this I was just talking to myself there a moment ago. So what I did was go ahead and start up this carving from scratch, starting it over again. And it's a carving I'm doing for my grandson. And I don't know if this got on or not, so I'll re-show it. And you see it there. It's the outline of the state of Texas. Little star down there about roughly where Houston is located. And the Houston Texans. And he's a big Texan sports fan, so I'm going to make this little plaque for him. And I'll paint it up in the color of the Texans. And give this to him. I will also do a Houston Astros plaque because he's a big baseball fan also. That'll come after this. I'll just replace the Texans with the Astros and carve that out for him. And keep going. And seeing how I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, have been there all of my life ever since there's been a Cowboys team. I will make one for me. So that's it. I'll go ahead and terminate this video for now. There may be a repeat of what I said earlier. If it is, I apologize. I looked up and I hadn't put the audio record button, so I was just talking to myself there as usual. So we will be back with you shortly. Okay, guys. that has just finished carving. Let's go ahead and get it off the board, see what it looks like. So far, from what I can see, I'm satisfied with it. That came out nice. There you go. Can you see that? Get it. Or here we go. Everything's backwards here in my rear view, in my viewfinder here, and I have to move things opposite direction. Anyhow, there it is. That's the one plaque. Of course, now I've got to carry it out in the garage and do all my finishing stuff on it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with Astros, which is the Texans being the local professional football team and the Astros being the local baseball team. I will go over here to my computer and what I want to do is make a copy. File, make a copy. And once the copy comes up, I want to rename it. Rename Houston Astros, which is the baseball team. And then I'll go in here and change this text to say ASTROS, Astros. And there, that's done. Again, the little star indicates the location of the city of Houston. Approximately, it's probably not exactly geographically 100% correct, but it's close enough for government work. And I want to do a simulate, and there it is. So let me go ahead and get this board all tied down, and then we'll start carving this one. I used to rigorously, I can't even say it, rigorously, that's close enough, clamp these down using 4 clamps, or at least 4, sometimes more. Over the last couple of years, I've come to the realization 2 good clamps is really all that's required. Now, what I want to do is set this XY position on this thing approximately close. That's good enough. Now, I want to turn it back on so I can do a carve. I'm going to run this up. Confirm the thickness, secure the bit, use the probe. Once again, plug my probe into its freshly made probe mount position. Hook that up. Confirm position. It's hooked up, clip is attached. Touch the cullet. I have contact. Touch plates in place, start probing. It has probed successfully, which establishes my 0 point on the wood, which takes all the guesswork out of that. Probe is away, set the XY, I've done that all right. Already, I should say. Spindle is on. Start carving. And away it goes for another hour and 11 minutes. This will be about 7 o'clock roughly, 6:50, something along in there, before this is done. Okay, I'm going to stop the video at this point because this is just a repetition of what I've done earlier, and I'll go ahead and get this uploaded. So I thank you again for watching. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I would ask that you would subscribe, and I'd like to see my subscriptions go up a little bit more. Try and reach that magic 200 point. I'm about 7 away from it last time I checked, and I know that's nothing compared to these guys who got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but then again, I'm just a little old boy in Texas that's just doing his thing and trying to share it with you, hoping that something of what I do will be of interest to you and you will possibly learn something from what I'm doing. There's nothing else, just for the entertainment value alone, I would hope that I'm being successful in that venue. So thank you again for watching. Hope you have a nice day, and we will talk with you again real soon.